head of Catholic Church, Pope Francis on Sunday surprised pilgrims at the St. Peter's Square 2 weeks after leaving hospital when he made first public appearance at the end of the Mass for the Jubilee of the sick and healthcare workers, looking apparently more healthier and stronger than he was in late March 2025 when he made public appearance through the window of Gemelli Hospital in Rome, where he has been under medical care since February 14th. He was hospitalized for pneumonia. Pope Francis, who stayed briefly at the event, was seen putting on what looked like a nasal cannula around his nose, probably fixed to aid his breathing. "Hello to everybody. Happy Sunday to all of you. Thank you very much," the Pope said in native language when he spoke at the event, with his voice seemingly weak and shaking. Pope Francis made a brief but moving appearance at the event. Arriving in a wheelchair, the Pope was assisted to the altar, where he gave his blessing and greeted the faithful, saying, "Happy Sunday to everyone, and thank you very much." It was observed his presence, lasting about 5 to 6 minutes, concluded with a huge applause for the Holy Father before he returned to the Vatican. It would be recalled that the 88-year-old pontiff spent 5 weeks in hospital with pneumonia in February and March, with his medical team saying that the Pope came close to death during the illness. Pope Francis had it difficult to thumb up as he appeared at a window of the Agostino Gemelli Polyclinic in Rome, on Sunday, March 23, 2025, where he has been treated for bronchitis and bilateral pneumonia since February 14th, but he was seen today to have thumbed up to the crowds more at ease when compared to previous public appearance. According to CNN, Pope Francis appeared in better health than when he was last seen in public, which was 2 weeks shortly before he was released from Rome's Gemelli Hospital. At that time, he struggled to speak and raise his arms, but managed to wave to people and gave a thumbs up from a balcony. On Sunday, the Pope appeared to move his arms around with more ease. His voice was still weak, but stronger than 2 weeks ago. The Pope's appearance had not been previously announced. Crowds of worshippers gathered at Vatican's St. Peter's Square on Sunday when the Pope made his short appearance after a Mass dedicated to the sick. We had last month reported that the Vatican on Saturday says the head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, slept well on Friday night and now resting after he had had a breathing crisis on Friday afternoon which led to him vomiting, making the 88-year-old pontiff to be supported by a breathing machine. We had reported that the Vatican says Pope Francis is still experiencing complex or chronic health conditions that affect multiple parts of his body systems, but the head of the Catholic Church is resting calmly since on Thursday, adding that the prognosis or the likely outcome or the forecasted outcome of the current health conditions of the Pope is still guarded. This, as local media had earlier reported that the Pope confided on some of his aides that he may not make it alive, with reports of some Catholic officials already rehearsing for his funeral. The Pope was admitted to Rome's Gemelli Hospital on Friday, February 14th, following a bout of bronchitis, with his doctors later diagnosing bilateral pneumonia. We had reported that despite the medical condition that he's under the high flow of oxygen in the hospital over double pneumonia, Pope Francis on Sunday, on the eve of the 3rd-year anniversary of the war in Ukraine launched by President Vladimir Putin-led Russia government, called on everyone in the world to remember victims of the war in Ukraine, describing the war which started on February 24, 2022 as painful, shameful for all humanity. We had also reported that the head of the Catholic Church, Pope Francis, is not out of danger and his health worsened on Saturday evening, says Vatican. The Pope's funeral is allegedly being rehearsed after the 88-year-old warned he may not survive pneumonia. The Swiss Guard protecting the Pope, 88, is rehearsing his funeral, with members under a curfew as they are preparing for the pontiff's death, Swiss newspaper Blick claims.
Buona domenica a tutti. Grazie tante.
Abia State Command of the Nigeria Police Force has confirmed the killing of 2 Chinese nationals and 1 Nigerian police officer on Friday evening at Uturu, a university town in the Isuikwuato local government area of Abia State that is very close to Okigwe area of Imo State, after the gunmen ambushed the Chinese construction workers and their police escorts, with no group claiming responsibility for the attacks, but one of the Biafra armed groups, the Biafra Liberation Army, BLA, in a video posted online a few minutes ago, noted that they are currently in a heavy gun battle with men of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, AFN, at Okigwe Forest, with the videos showing military helicopter and armored tanks. The BLA had earlier posted on Friday night after the killing of the Chinese nationals that they received intelligent information that the Nigeria soldiers will invade Okigwe on Saturday. According to the armed group, the Biafra Defense Council wishes to alert Biafrans in Okigwe State of an imminent invasion of the towns and villages in Okigwe by the Nigerian military, which they consider a terrorist force, at any moment. All citizens in and around Okigwe should remain vigilant and exercise heightened security awareness. The 3rd Division of the Biafra Liberation Army is prepared to confront them. On Saturday evening, the Biafra armed group published video recordings of Nigeria soldiers' armored tanks and helicopter hovering and entering a forest, said, they're in a gun battle with the Nigeria soldiers. Sahara reporters reported on Saturday evening that 2 Chinese expatriates and a police inspector were killed in a deadly ambush by unidentified gunmen in Uturu, Isuikwuato local government area of Abia State, according to the State Police Command that confirmed the incident. The victims were identified as Mr. Kwan and Mr. Kai, both Chinese expatriates, and Inspector Audu Saidu, one of their police escorts. The attack occurred on Friday, April 4, 2025, around 5:30 p.m., while the victims were en route to their company site at Isuikwuato in the Ndundu community. It was learned that the assailants opened fire on the convoy, killing the 3 victims and carting away Inspector Saidu's rifle. In a statement issued by the Abia State Police Public Relations Officer, DSP Maureen Chinaka, the command confirmed that a joint rescue operation involving the police, military, and other security agencies successfully rescued 4 Chinese expatriates and 2 police officers. The statement reads in part, the Abia State Police Command, in collaboration with the military and other sister security agencies, led by the Divisional Police Officer, DPO, Uturu, has successfully rescued 4 Chinese expatriates and 2 escort police officers. This followed a distress report received on the 4th of April 2025 at about 17:30 hours, that unidentified armed men had ambushed and attacked a group of Chinese expatriates and their police escorts while they were en route to their company site located at Isuikwuato, Ndundu community, Uturu, Isuikwuato local government area. Tragically, during the attack, the manager, Mr. Kwan, male, his colleague Mr. Kai, male, and Inspector Audu Saidu, one of the escort officers, were killed. The assailants also carted away the Inspector Saidu's rifle. Upon receiving the information, operatives from Abia State Command, in a joint operation with the military and other sister agencies, launched a search mission. As a result, 3 Chinese expatriates were rescued unhurt, while 1 sustained injuries. Inspector Uber Ahmed, who was also rescued, suffered gunshot injury on his leg. Both the injured officer and the expatriate are currently receiving treatment and responding to treatment at FMC Abakaliki. Today, the 5th of April 2025, tactical team operatives of the command, led by the Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations, visited the crime scene as part of the ongoing search and rescue efforts. Through collaborative action involving the police, the military, and local community members, Inspector Okigwe Friday was also rescued unhurt. The Commissioner of Police, Abia State Command, CP Danladi Isa, has assured the good people of Abia State that the perpetrators of this heinous crime will be brought to justice. He urged residents to remain security conscious, go about their lawful activities without fear, and support the police by reporting any suspicious persons, vehicles, or activities to the nearest police station or call the following command's emergency lines, the Abia State Police Command stated according to Sahara reporters. In an emotional-laden voice, a 90-years-old woman has appealed to Nigeria ex-president and his family, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, to set free her daughter who has been in prison for 6 years without court judgment over the missing jewelries of the wife of the ex-president and the former Nigeria First Lady, Patience Jonathan, who arrested 15 of her domestic workers in 2019, including the 90-year-old woman's daughter, Deborah Erima, after the house helps could not give account on the whereabouts of the former First Lady's jewelry, which the ex-president's wife apparently filed a bogus and outrageous charges of attempted murder, armed robbery that attracts life imprisonment, death sentence against the 15 house helps who have been remanded and left to languish in prison since more than half a decade. Deborah Erima, a former aide to the ex-First Lady, is accused alongside others of stealing jewelries and household items reportedly worth over 200 million nairas. It was gathered that the case has faced over 40 court adjournments since 2019, leaving the accused in prolonged detention without judgment. The elderly woman, in an exclusive video recorded message made available by Sahara reporters on Friday, says, if she dies, the detained daughter is the only one she has to bury her and perform the necessary funeral rites after her demise in line with African cultures and traditions. The elderly woman, who broke down in tears as she recounted her suffering since her daughter's incarceration, begged the former Nigeria First Lady to free her daughter, whom she said has been the one taking care of her before she was incarcerated. Nobody gives me food. It's only her. I don't have anybody else. I'm tired of begging to eat. I don't beg tire. I don't tire, the woman cried. Make Una leave my pikin for me, she said. Please release my daughter. She used to feed me. If I die now, who will bury me? She's all I have, the 90-year-old woman stated. Her daughter, alongside other accused house helps, were charged before the Bielsa State High Court in Yenagoa in 2019, but the case has dragged on for years. Punch newspaper reported that the proceedings over the case have been adjourned over 40 times. The list of other accused persons includes William Zalami, Vincent Olabiyi, Ebuka Cosmos, John Dash, Tamunokoro Abaku, Emmanuel Ajinwa, Precious Kingsley, Tamunosiki Akas, Sunday Reginald, Vivian Golden, Emeka Benson, Boma Oba, Salami Weboka, and Sahabi Lima. The 18-count charge against the accused involves allegations including conspiracy to commit murder, armed robbery, and theft. Nigeria prosecutors alleged the house helps stole items valued at approximately 200 million nairas, which includes 7 gold bangles, various other pieces of jewelry, multiple Samsung flat-screen televisions, 5 air conditioners, and 2 sets of upholstered chairs.
Nobody will go give me food. No election and they gave me. I don't get person will go help me. I just go begging. Look at I see me as I'm dead now. They're gonna break my data from me. Making go find food for me. She and they gave me food. I don't get any person to give me food. I don't beg tire. I don't tire. I beg on them. How can I leave my picking from me? How can I break up? If I die now, who go bury me? My shit. My 2 children, my daughter and my son. Not let this one son, I should get up. That man, that boy, where did he? Not let him lie me again. With her shit. That's not my brain. And I don't know my day where I go die. If I like keep myself in there for my hand and then I die, who go bury me? That's my story me now. Let them see as I did. Let them see as I did. Don't beg die. They're not going to give me death. Let them sorry me. Let them sorry me. Sorry me. I'm not safe for the people. Let them sorry me. They don't get food to give me. They're not going anywhere. Before they fight, they enter water. But now I don't feel that. I don't feel go and down. I don't feel that. I'm going to break myself. This is 9 months.
Osasua Radio, bringing you the news in a more digital way.